Okay, January the 5th. So I'm getting ready for my trading day tomorrow. It's 9:30 at night here in Saudi Arabia. Trading day tomorrow. So basically the Dow Jones. So it's quite interesting. We had this kind of up move here, all-time new high, and then we had the Iranian issue. We'll just call it that for now. The Iranian issue. So basically we're sitting right on this support level at close. Now let's look at this. Let's interrogate this at another level. We've got this weakness showing here, and we've got this weakness showing here on the up thrust daily here, and we've got this weakness showing here. So, and when we can see here that there was no volumes on either of these moves, yeah. So we can say there's no volumes on these moves. So, sorry, my TV keeps coming on. So we can say there's no volume on these moves here. So let's go and look at what's going on in the 4 hour. So the 4 hour Dow, we've basically got this previous resistance level here. We very clearly see signs of weakness here. Okay, looks like a no demand, possible hidden selling pressure, followed by this looks like a no demand up thrust. Got both of those wrong. So basically we did have some weakness. Bam, came down. And we traded this to the downside last week. I traded this one to the downside. We got this gap up here above the Bollinger Band, middle point on the 4 hour. So what were we doing? We were buying, yeah. And then we got this down move. Now what we're doing right now is we're just sitting above this Bollinger Band. Let's call the next Bollinger Band point would be this 4 hour hasn't finished, but we're going to say it's 28,625. The weekend Dow is already down at 28,550. So the weekend Dow price is down here somewhere, okay? So we're already testing the lows of this 4 hour bar here. So we got down bar, up bar, lower highs. So we probably have a down move. So my target I'm in this trade actually off of 28,690. I was holding it from Friday, and I'll show you the reason why in a minute. With a stop above 28,720 because of this weakness in the background here. Right, because of this in the background here, and because of this lower high here. Okay, so I was holding this for a test of this area down here. This gap has not officially closed yet. You see that? It's not officially closed. So I'm expecting a gap close at least, and then we'll see what happens from there. So I'm expecting a move down on the Dow to 28,440 on Monday. Okay, so let's look what's going on the smaller time frames. Trend trading 101. Below the daily pivot, sell rallies, yeah. The Bollinger Band here was trading down. We tried to go above it here, couldn't make it. All right. Let's throw an open range. So open range US session on the Dow is 1630 on this chart. So this is the open range first 30 minutes of the Dow trading. The high and the low. Let's not do that because there's too many blue lines on here. So let's move this one down. So this was the high of that bar roughly, and this was the low of that bar roughly. So what we had here on that bar, this is the open range bar, this one, we actually had very, very high volume. The highest volume we've had for a long time. The next bar was down. So this is potential weakness, okay? Here they tested it. One of these that's an up thrust, and that's definitely a no demand. No demand, why? Because it closed, it's a bar that tried to go higher, closing on its low on low volume. Okay, again, another no demand bar there, yeah? And we saw the result of that. Then the price came back up and retested this level. This is classic distribution here, right? So already the weekend Dow is down here, so I'm already up about 140 points on this trade. So I'm hoping that maintains over the weekend. I'm hoping we actually drop to 28,440. So that'll be a nice little 250 point trade for me for an open on Monday. So my pointy arrow. So we can see very clearly here the open range, the volume here didn't break out of there. Tried, but look, there was supply coming in here, supply coming in here. So that means this bar was sellers. Okay, if we poked out and tested and carried on going, then we can say that this supply here that we saw here got absorbed, yeah, but it didn't, right? So we see weakness in here. and that weakness will play out with this coming over and going down into 28,440 area, 28,466. Maybe the low of this bar might form some form of support. So my plan for basically Monday is to make sure to have this kind of pattern rolling over, to have the price below the daily pivot, to have the price below the Bollinger Band, the 30, 60, the 4 hour trending down would be nice. We can see this kind of mushroom top forming here. So if we get down below this 28,532 level, the low of the daily range, the open range on Friday, then we can say this area of 28,440 will be tested. Okay. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get down lower than that, but it's possible. Anything's possible. So 28,440. That's the magic number for tomorrow. It's not that far off. We might go to 28,373 or kind of in this zone because there's a lot of action in here. A lot of price action in this area here. 28,323 potential. So we might come down into this area, lower this bar, somewhere around there. Yeah? So, we'll just see what happens. There's a bit 28,380 is another support level. Let's call it 28,380. So it's going to be between 28,440 to 28,330. 380 is going to be the potential target for tomorrow, as long as the down trends remain intact. Okay. So that's that. So what am I looking for? Price below the pivot, trend down, signs of weakness, preference for an open range breakdown on Monday morning of the London session, or even in early Asia, or a gap down and no attempt to gap. If I saw that, I'm already in the sell, but I may be tempted to add a position. So that's kind of what I'm looking for tomorrow, yeah, on the Dow.